difference between products that fly off the shelf and others that just pile up in clearance areas comes down to one key factor: product marketing. And trust me, if you're not nailing this, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. So today, we're diving into a powerful beginner's guide to product marketing, a step-by-step breakdown that will be the difference between you exploding your sales or struggling to survive as a business owner. But before we jump in, let's talk about a real fear. I know some of you are thinking, product marketing, oh my goodness, that sounds like a daunting thing because I'm not a marketer, I'm a business owner. Or you're probably feeling like juggling just even one more thing feels like a huge boulder or mountain on your shoulders. Here's the truth. You're not alone, because many entrepreneurs feel this way starting out. And part of that has to do with feeling overwhelmed, being unsure where to start, or scared of both wasting time and money on strategies that might not work. But the thing is, how you market your product could mean a difference between you making hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions in sales in relation to the product that you're pushing. Let's take a look at GoPro, for example. They don't just sell cameras, they sell a lifestyle. Their commercials are known not for focusing on specs and features and parts of their gadget, but the chase, the thrill, and the adventure that you take through an outdoor experience. They launched a campaign called Be a Hero in 2000. They didn't just put a camera in front of you that showed you how nice the camera looked. They put you on a mountain bike. They put you on a ripening road trail. They put you on waves. And how did they do that? They did it by giving you this perspective point of view of being in the moment. It wasn't about selling the product itself. It was about selling that journey, that process, that transformation. If you're the kind of person who lives for outdoor adventures, who thrives on pushing the limits, GoPro made you feel like their camera was made just for you to unlock that lifestyle. And it worked. Sales skyrocketed because they tapped into a core desire that every outdoor lover wants to not just go through an experience, but feel and share. That's the power of understanding your audience and delivering on their deepest desires. Now, let's break it down into actionable steps you can actually take today to help grow your product and push your product in business. Step 1, identifying your target market. If you've been in business for more than 2 years, you've probably heard of this before. But what does it mean? Who exactly are you trying to sell to? A lot of the time, businesses make the mistake of trying to sell to everyone. As a designer, I've designed logos and branding packages for clients who, when we get to the consultation phase, talking about who their audience is, they want to target everyone. But the truth is, if you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. And that is something the largest corporations and marketers know. I know from personal experience what this is like, because in the very first 10 years of me doing business, I struggled with the same thing. Yep, 10 years. A lot of what I'm going to share with you, I was clueless to. Imagine throwing a dart 30 feet away to a board trying to hit your target. Chances of you hitting your bullseye or the target is close to 0. Now, let's take the approach where you're standing almost an arm's length away from the target. Chances of you hitting it now is a lot more likely to where you could almost reach and place it in the center. Getting to know your ideal client or customer base is just like this. Knowing not only their pain points, their desires, but their problems that they need you to solve for them through your products or through your services. The better you understand your audience, the better you can position your products. For example, let's say the type of music they listen to. Knowing this, you can craft a message, you can craft advertising and other promotional pieces that attach your product and the type of music they listen to better reach them. But music is just one example. Where they spend their leisure time, their additional hobbies, what they are passionate about. That will allow you to be able to connect with them on a deeper level. Next, craft your message for your purpose and intention to serve the audience you're planning to reach. This is where you turn your features into benefits, because people don't just buy products, they buy the solution to their problem. They buy a better version of themselves, the outcome that they're seeing that your product can create for them. They buy the story you create to sell the result to them. Think of your product as a bridge. On one side, you have your customer, where they have their problems or frustrations. And on the other side is the result. They want to be successful, happy, satisfied, and better health, whatever case may be. Without your product, the bridge, there's no way for them to get to that result. Your product is that bridge to get them to the other side in order for them to experience what that product will create for them as a result. Your marketing message message needs to be able to communicate this type of transformation in their lives clearly and emotionally. Especially emotionally, if you can do that, that's a bonus because it's emotion that sells. Your marketing needs to be able to show them that by choosing your product, they're choosing a better result. They're choosing the outcome they desire. Now that you know who you're talking to, the next question is, where do you place your messages to get in front of them? The answer is wherever your audience is. Remember I mentioned the type of music they listen to? You can create advertising and organic content that can help that devout group, the people that you will reach for your product. Let's say you're throwing a party, but you forget to send out invitations until a week before. My goodness. Although you've got the best music, food, you've got even party gifts for your guests, but instead of 20, 30, or 40 people showing up, only 8 show up because you waited until the last minute or that week of to start getting invitations out, making phone calls, and so on. If your expected goal was 10 people, hey, I guess 8 people makes sense. But if your goal was to throw a much bigger party to where you could have 30 guests, the likeliness of that happening is very little. Your marketing channels in business or your forms of invitation, whether it's social media, email marketing, or content marketing, this is where you need to be able to reach your customers where they're already hanging out, going online for either informational content, educational content like this video, or even entertainment if you can create that experience that will attract them. I don't recommend targeting all these channels all at once because now you're spreading your focus and budget between all of them, which if you spread yourself too thin, it's hard to be as effective as you should be. You will need to be able to gather a good amount of information as well as engagement/interactions between the audience you're targeting to whichever form of marketing you're utilizing in order to have enough input and data to tweak and revise to be more proficient and get better results. From my experience, I would say not to focus on more than 2: organic marketing and social media marketing to start. Each of these by themselves require a good amount of knowledge and proficiency eventually to maximize on them, because just getting on Instagram and posting is not a recipe for success. Next, let's talk about measuring success. The beautiful thing about the digital marketing age that we live in and that we're experiencing versus traditional paper marketing is that you can track everything on your screen, on a mobile device, or on a laptop, whatever digital tools you use the most. But here's the key. Even with all this data and information that you will collect through analytical tools, if something is not working, you need to be able to be receptive of change, to make adjustments. And those adjustments shouldn't be an overhaul of changes. It should be one parameter at a time. Maybe changing the captions that you post with a different way, different hashtags, different type of titles, different type of thumbnails. But you change one element at a time to be able to gauge with a significant amount of views to see what the interaction is in order to be able to make those alterations or tweaks that you need to change in your strategy to get better results. Think about professional athletes trying to level up their game. They don't just throw their entire playbook out because they lost the game or they lost the championship. Instead, they sharpen their skills, and over time, the world comes to recognize them in their specific sport as a great athlete. LeBron James is a role model for this. LeBron, for decades throughout his career, has been known and it's been documented where he would take his summers and work diligently, not only on conditioning, on strength, but also on skills, to where he came into the league not shooting as great, to where athletes now have to sometimes guard him halfway through the court because he will shoot it from the middle of the basketball court and it will go in. There's a respect and a level of fear that he will make the shot because he's worked on it so much and he's demonstrated what that repetition and continuing to sharpen your skills do for you as an athlete. In business, you have to adopt the same sort of mentality, almost hunger in a way. All of these are a base to start marketing your product well, to skyrocket your sales. In the next video, we are going to dive even deeper into strategies, case studies, and real-world examples of product marketing done well. The only way to fail is to not try. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.